Hello everyone, welcome to EduHunt video lecture series. We have been discussing about reproductive system. Reproduction is nothing but multiplication process. We have discussed in plants and we also continued the process in animals, asexual reproduction part, and then coming to higher individuals, sexual reproduction is being started. In sexual reproduction, coming to mammals, especially a human being, is a unisexual organism. That means male and female individuals are different, they are separate. Male individuals consist of male reproductive system and female, they have a female reproductive system. And we also discussed about the male reproductive organs, that is the primary sex organs and secondary sex organs, accessory glands that support these reproductive structures. And we'll be moving on to the female reproductive system. While discussing the female reproductive system, we have discussed about the structure of ovary, that is the actual primary reproductive structure involved in the female reproduction is the ovary. A pair of ovaries are present and there are fallopian tubes, a pair of fallopian tubes which are connected to a single uterus, and single uterus has a cervical canal, has a cervix, and it ends up with an opening called the vagina. Vagina is the opening through which the penis is being inserted and it releases the sperm into the vagina. And the sperm, it has a supporting fluid in which it swims and reaches the final destination, that is the ovum, egg, which is a haploid one. Even the sperm is also haploid one. That have been discussed in the previous session. And now the next organ, that is breast, mammary glands. We say mammary glands. These will be discussed. Before that, just to see the introduction, mammary glands are present and they are confined to mammals. Mammals. In mammals, mammary glands are there. Mammals, they give birth to young ones. And known as viviparous. We have discussed it. Viviparous. Viviparous organisms are the organisms which give birth to young ones. And these are exclusively seen in mammals. And they have a parental care. Parental care is there. Mammals, after giving birth to young ones, they care about their children. They care about their progeny, offspring. Okay? And these mammals, they have mammary glands to feed the babies, newborn babies. Let's see the structures that are associated with this parental care. That is breast. Breast has mammary glands. There are a pair of breasts and there are a pair of mammary glands situated in the breast and that contain glandular tissue and variable amount of fat. A fat is deposited in the thoracic region and because of that deposition they bulge and they give the shape. And along with that fat, not only the fat, the glandular tissue which support the secretion, which are responsible for the secretion called the milk during lactation and during parental care will be there, and the glandular tissue of each breast is divided into 15 to 20 lobules or mammary lobes. They consist of cells called alveoli. Like we have seen, alveoli are the tiny sac-like structures that are present in the lung. Lungs, the unit of lung is said to be alveolus, or alveoli are the units of lungs. As well as we see the cluster of cells like which look like a sac. Like this, these are the sac-like structures, and these sac-like structures are alveoli, and these alveoli lead into ampulla, and these are the glandular cells of breast known as alveoli, and the cells of alveoli, they are responsible for milk secretion. They secrete milk and which is stored in the cavities or the lumens of the alveoli. The alveoli open into mammary tubes, and these a small tubule-like structure, these tubules of each lobe join to form a mammary duct. They lead into a mammary duct which is wider than the tubule. First of all, these sac-like glandular cells that we have mentioned as alveoli. These alveoli, they join to a tubule-like structure, and these tubules, each tubule joins with a mammary duct. They are joined, they are clubbed, they join, they dilate into the mammary duct, and several mammary ducts join to form a complete wider mammary ampulla. As we have seen in case of testis, there is an ampulla, that is the connecting structure, tubule connecting structure. Here also it is the connecting structure, that is all the mammary ducts, they lead into the ampulla which is connected to the lactiferous tissue and the lactiferous duct through which the milk is sucked out. So this is the actual structure of breast, where we can see it is provided with vasculature, that is blood circulation will be there, and it is situated in the thoracic part of the body, and if you can see clearly the mammary lobe, these are the fat depositions, and inner to that fat deposition, these are the mammary lobes, and each mammary lobe has a mammary alveolus, and all these alveolus, these are the glandular cells of the mammary lobe or mammary gland. Glandular cells of the mammary lobe are alveoli, mammary alveoli. These alveoli, they join with small tubule-like structures and they lead into a mammary duct. Here it is all the alveoli, they join to a duct known as mammary duct. All these structures are mammary ducts. Yeah, this is the mammary duct where all the glandular alveoli, they lead into the alveolar or mammary duct. And these ducts, they have all the branches of ducts, they meet and form the ampulla. And these ampulla will lead into the lactiferous duct. Lactiferous is nothing but milk. Milk secreting duct. And this lactiferous duct will lead into the nipple where the milk is sucked out. So this is the structure. And mammary glands, they produce a secretion that is enriched with nutrients. This fluid is called the milk, and it is meant for the nourishment of the young one or the newborn babies. Milk protects the young from infections. Manam antu untam kada, every time doctor advises the pregnant women to feed their babies. To feed their breastfeeding is the best thing to avoid infections. To develop what we call immunity. To develop immunity in the young ones and the newborns, what the lactating mothers do is they feed their baby with their breast milk. And immediately after delivery, these mammary glands, they secrete what we call fluid, which is like a very diluted fluid, and that fluid is known as colostrum. It is called colostrum, and this is this colostrum, I'll show you where it is. Colostrum, yes, the milk produced during the initial few days of lactation, that is after birth, immediately giving birth to the young one, the lactating mothers, they secrete the milk, very transparent fluid called the colostrum, and this colostrum, it contains antibodies, immunoglobulin A. We have, our immune system has different immunoglobulins, different types of antibodies. Actually, what are antibodies? Antibodies ante enti? Meer eppudaina vinnara antibodies? Definitely we have. We come across this word in our life. Yes, antibodies అని అన్నాం. యాంటీబాడీస్, ఎప్పుడు యాంటీబాడీస్ గురించి విన్నారంటే మీరు కరోనా టైంలో వినుంటారు కదా. ఎస్, గుర్తొచ్చిందా? కరోనా టైంలో యాంటీబాడీస్ ప్రొడ్యూస్ అవ్వకపోవడం, అప్పటి వరకు కరోనా అనేది వరల్డ్లో లేదు, గ్లోబ్ మీద ఎక్కడ కూడా కరోనా అనేది లేదు. ఎప్పుడైతే చైనాలో, వుహాన్లో కరోనా అనే ఒక న్యూ వైరస్ డిటెక్ట్ అయ్యిందో, ఆ న్యూ వైరస్ బారిన పడి చాలామంది ఎఫెక్ట్ అయ్యారు కదా. సో అప్పుడు బాడీకి అది కొత్త వైరస్ కాబట్టి ఆ వైరస్కి తగ్గ యాంటీబాడీస్ మన ఇమ్యూన్ సిస్టమ్ ప్రొడ్యూస్ చేయలేకపోయింది. సో వాట్ ఆర్ యాంటీబాడీస్? యాంటీబాడీస్ ఆర్ ద ప్రోటీన్స్ ఆర్ ద స్ట్రక్చర్స్ విచ్ ఫైట్ అగేన్స్ట్ ద యాంటీజెన్స్ ఆర్ ద ఫారిన్ స్ట్రక్చర్స్. ఇప్పుడు మన బాడీలో ఏదైనా ఫారిన్ ఉండిపోయింది అనుకోండి, ఫారిన్ పార్టికల్ మన బాడీలోకి వెళ్ళిందని, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇక్కడ మమ్మీ ఇలా జస్ట్ ఇలా దులిపారు అనుకోండి, ఏమవుతుంది, ఇమీడియట్గా మనకి తుమ్ములు వస్తాయి. తుమ్ములు ఎందుకు వచ్చాయంటే డస్ట్ పార్టికల్స్, దే ఆర్ ఫారిన్ బాడీస్, దే ఆర్ నాట్ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ అవర్ బాడీ. Whenever the foreign bodies enter our nose, immediately our nose rejects that foreign objects. Immediately the rejection reaction happens in the initial level itself. That's why we forcefully మనం తుమ్మేస్తాం. తుమ్మడం వల్ల ఆ డస్ట్ పార్టికల్స్ అన్ని బయటకు వచ్చేస్తాయి. కంట్లో ఏదైనా పడింది అనుకోండి, కంట్లో డస్ట్ పార్టికల్ పడితే ఇమీడియట్లీ టీయర్స్ వస్తాయి. సో లాక్రిమల్ గ్లాండ్స్ ఏం చేస్తాయంటే సెక్రీట్ చేసి సెక్రీషన్ని టీయర్స్ రూపంలో బయటికి ఆ వాటర్ని పంపించేస్తాయి. సో ఆల్ దీస్ ఆర్ ద ఫస్ట్ ఫేజ్ ఆఫ్ ఇమ్యూన్ డిఫెన్స్ సిస్టమ్. ఎనీవే, యాంటీబాడీస్ అంటే ప్రోటీన్స్ దట్ ఆర్ ప్రొడ్యూస్డ్ టు ఫైట్ అగేన్స్ట్ ద యాంటీజెన్స్. ఫారిన్ బాడీని యాంటీజెన్ అన్నాము, ఆ ఫైటింగ్ బాడీని యాంటీబాడీ అన్నాము. సో ఈ యాంటీజెన్కి అగేన్స్ట్గా ప్రొడ్యూస్ అయ్యే యాంటీబాడీ ఏమవుతుందంటే ఈ యాంటీబాడీ ఫైట్ చేస్తుంది. సో అలా ఫైట్ చేయాలంటే వీ నీడ్ యాంటీబాడీస్ అగేన్స్ట్ దట్ యాంటీజెన్స్. ఆ యాంటీబాడీస్ మన బాడీలో రెడీ అవుతాయి. బట్ న్యూ బార్న్ బేబీస్కి దే ఆర్ న్యూ టు ద వరల్డ్, దే ఆర్ న్యూలీ ఎక్స్పోజ్ టు ద ఓపెన్ వరల్డ్. అప్పటి వరకు మదర్ వూమ్లో వెచ్చగా బెటర్గా ఏమీ తెలియకుండా ఉన్న ఆ బేబీ కాస్త whenever it exposed to the world, it will be attacked by so many microorganisms like viruses, bacteria. వీటన్నిటి నుంచి ప్రొటెక్ట్ చేయాలంటే it has to boost its immune system. దానికి సపోర్ట్ ఇచ్చేది మదర్ మిల్క్లో ఉన్న, దట్ ఈస్ కొలోస్ట్రమ్లో ఉన్న ఇమ్యూనోగ్లోబులిన్ ఏ. ఓకే, ఎక్కువగా సెక్రేషన్స్లో ఉండేది ఇమ్యూనోగ్లోబులిన్ ఏ, దట్ ఈస్ యాంటీబాడీ ఏ. ఎనీవే, the mammary glands produce milk-like secretion and that nourishes the young ones. Not only for nourishment, it also protects the babies from various infections up to some months after the birth. And they undergo differentiation, these mammary glands undergo differentiation during pregnancy and start producing milk towards the end of the pregnancy by the process called lactation. The production of milk is called as lactation, and this helps the mother to nourish the young one or the newborn. Breastfeeding during the initial period of infant growth is recommended by the doctors. As I said, doctors always recommend the women to feed their babies, to give their babies breastfeeding. న్యూ బార్న్ బేబీస్ ఉన్నారంటే వాళ్ళకి బ్రెస్ట్ ఫీడింగ్ ఇమ్మని మదర్స్కి డాక్టర్స్ అడ్వైస్ చేస్తూ ఉంటారు ఆల్వేస్, బికాస్ ఐ మెన్షన్ దట్ ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ ఓన్లీ ఇట్ నరిషెస్ ద బేబీ, ఇట్ ఆల్సో గివ్స్ ద ఇమ్యూన్ బూస్టింగ్ టు ద న్యూ బార్న్ babies. This is about the mammary glands. Let's see some golden points regarding the female reproductive system. What is uterus also called? That is also called as womb. Womb, mother womb antam kada. And longest unstriped muscles of the body are found in the walls of uterus during the pregnancy. Longest unstriped muscles are found in the wall of the uterus, that is in female. Clitoris is homologous to the penis in the male. These are the external reproductive structures that help in, that facilitate the passage of gametes. Bartholin glands, and Bartholin glands, it is homologous to Cowper's glands of male. Cowper's glands secretion manam chusam kada, it's alkaline in nature and milk-like secretion, and white fluid that is secreted by the Cowper's glands, alkaline in nature, and it lubricates the sperm. The functional mammary gland is characteristic of all female mammals. It's everybody knows this point. And as I mentioned that colostrum is the milk secreted by the woman immediately after delivery, a few hours or sometimes few days after delivery. The milk secreted by the female are known as colostrum, which contains immunoglobulin A, IgA, that is antibodies A. Absolutely, these are essential to develop immune system, to develop resistance for newborn babies. They offer resistance towards various infections. అందుకే newborn babies are very 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 sensitive to infections, very sensitive. సో ఇంకా వాళ్ళకి ఈ ఇమ్యూన్ సిస్టమ్ డెవలప్ అవుతూ ఉంటుంది. ఇన్నేట్ ఇమ్యూనిటీ ఉంటుంది, అడాప్టివ్ ఇమ్యూన్ సిస్టమ్ కూడా ఎక్వైర్ చేసుకోవడానికి ది టేక్ సమ్ టైమ్. డ్యూరింగ్ ఏం చేస్తామంటే ఈ ఫీడింగ్ చేస్తూ ఉంటే ఐజీజీ అండ్ అదర్ ఇమ్యూనోగ్లోబులిన్స్ మనం ప్రొవైడ్ చేయడం వల్ల ఇమ్యూన్ సిస్టమ్ క్విక్గా బూస్టింగ్ ఉంటుంది.